Hey guys, welcome back to Judo Highlights. So this will be the one and only video I do of all the IPPONS and the World Championships. Now we're starting with this massive Sode from Nakamura. It's almost one-handed, so impressive, and to throw Smetov, very high level competitor with this throw, is absolutely amazing. So to start this video off, I've put all the Japanese IPPONS at the beginning. Call me biased, but there were some really amazing ones from the Japanese B team. This one here from Takeoka, a very nice Kosoto Gake. He's very good at running with this throw, going long distances with it. And another one from Takeoka. Also, before I forget, a lot of new people turn up to my channel when the World Championships come around. So like the video, consider subscribing, stay around. I follow all the IJF tour, just tournaments like this all the time, and judo is really fun to watch and follow. And maybe give it a try, if you're man enough, up for the challenge. This next one from Ishihara, a big seoi nage, and he goes double lapel, just like Iliadis did back in the day, so this is really nice to see. And would you believe this is not his best ippon of the tournament? This next one, textbook. I mean, they teach people to do seoi nage like this, but I mean, there's not many people that can do it. Have a look at this. So I don't think there's been anyone since Abe who's really done this standing seoi nage like this. I mean, it's one of the most basic throws that we have, but probably the most difficult to do. Obviously, we see the drop-down version all the time for good reason. It's just easier to execute. Classic combination from Arai now. Starts it off with the Uchimata, then goes Ochigari, and then goes back to the Uchimata. Left versus right. I mean, this is a classic combination. And here's another one from the young superstar. This time just a single entry Uchimata. Now Fonseca, he tries to put his elbow against Arai's chest, but Arai, he does well to go around it, just make that elbow go past his torso, which is why Fonseca went over so easily. I think he was expecting to hit resistance, but he didn't. Ueno at under 81s now, someone who I think's got a lot of promise at under 81 after Nagase. Very attacking style, and have a look at this. For an Osotogari. Absolutely insane. Now, just one more ippon from the Japanese, this time Tajima. The big pickup, the front Uchimata, or the Yagura as they like to call it. I don't know what the IJF would call it, I think they'd just define it as Uchimata. But let's be real, it is a different technique, and I think it should have its own special name. And now we're getting into some ippons from some non-Japanese judoka, this time Boltoboyev. And he came out with this crazy Uchimata as a counter. So Jalo goes in, looking for a Taniatoshi. He has really awkward grips. I've seen some people do it from this grip, but it's not a very high frequency throw, and then it puts you in such a dangerous position. And Boltoboyev, I mean, he just took advantage of it. Now this one starts off as a Utsurigoshi, but then he puts a leg on the outside. Massive Haraigoshi. And that is a lot of weight coming down on top of you. And I like the little Ashiwaza at the start there to set up the Utsurigoshi. That was really nice. Now Bobanov here, he gets caught. He was looking for the counter, didn't get it, and then gets demolished into the mat. You can see here Safrani goes in for the Osoto, and Bobanov tries to pick him up, but Safrani just stays with it really strong. Weight bearing down on that leg. Exact same thing here against Malonga from Balandi. Just a lot of weight, a lot of pressure on that leg that she's reaping. Have a look at that. I mean, if that was me, my knee probably would have blown out. That was pretty painful to watch. Now, I was going to call this Taniatoshi, maybe Kosoto Gake, Yoko Otoshi, maybe. But on Judo Base, they have this as Harai Goshi Gaishi, so a counter to the Harai Goshi. I don't like that though. I don't like having a technique just being a counter to another technique. I think if the counter looks like a technique we have, we should just call it what it is. Now this one from Kotsuev, a big Surigoshi, and he's got that hand on the belt, and here he goes. And that was really deep, very deep with the hips, and explosive. And those two grips, the one on the belt and the one on the sleeve, and then just creating no space. That is massive. Just a one-handed okuri ashibarai here. Now a lot of pressure on the edge of the mat. Gets Ike running. Have a look at the movement that he gets generating right here. And when you're running like that, it's so easy just to take your feet from underneath you. Fonseca, and at under 100s, I mean, that drop down seoinage, that might be faster than some of the guys at under 60, under 66. Look how fast he goes down. And remember, this one's slowed down. This is the slow-mo. That is incredibly fast from Fonseca. This next one from Bashaev, I thought, really unique, really creative. Gets in the Sode Surikomi position, and then instead of, you know, throwing him over his shoulder, he just drops back, little backwards power bomb. I mean, have a look at this. So I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen something like this, but I wouldn't be surprised if people start doing this now. Same thing happened when Bakaori started doing that wakare move, and Maizaradzi, he got it on as well. I saw that the other day in my dojo, and someone almost lost the knee. Now this one from Kim, I kind of feel bad because I didn't make a video about him or the heavyweights, but he had some nice techniques on the day. Just I remember glancing at it and just seeing one technique, but he actually had some really nice techniques throughout the day. And of course, well done to Kim, world champion at plus 100s. That's pretty incredible. Now this one here from Bashaev gets between Nakimov's legs. I saw Nagase do this many years ago, and he got Hansokomake for it, so I'm glad they're recognizing it. This one here just a wazari, but still, the Sasai from Stump is something amazing. One of the best Hizaguruma and Sasais in the game. Tanaka with the Sode. And now he's world champion, so that's going to be interesting for Japan. Here's another technique from him. Obviously, Abe, world champion. Maruyama is kind of still in the mix. And then Tanaka, now you've got world champion at under 66 as well. Shikado gets a nice counter against Garrigos here, which basically took that red back patch from him. He was the world champion from the previous year, and then this was him getting eliminated. Now you don't see this too often. A Yoko Otoshi. Actually on judo base they call this Ukiwaza. I don't know, not too sure about that. Maybe Yoko Guruma? It's a hard one. Now this Osoto from Deguchi, I want to know what she was thinking, because as soon as Libier went for the grip, she went in for the Osoto, and it's just weird to expect that back leg to come forward and then you to hit it with the Osoto Gari. She must have picked up on something as the match was going on, just how Libier was entering in. But I don't know, maybe she just got the read and knew she was going to put that foot forward. This next one, a Sasai Surikomiyashi. But if you noticed, Margvelashvili goes on the inside leg, not on the outside leg. Now look at this, another Japanese ippon. I thought I got them all. This is another one from Ishihara, and you can see that double hand, two hands on the lapel. Iliadis would be proud. Now there is one more Japanese ippon. I know it's coming up in a couple of minutes from our new world champion, Tajima. So stick around for that. This one, an Osoto Gaishi. But, I mean, could you not just call it an Osoto Gari? Honestly, in all my years of being in Japan, you see it a lot. You see people countering Osoto Gari with Osoto Gari. Or a Haraigoshi, but, I mean, nobody has ever said Osoto Gaishi. Now this one, this is a really nice Kataguruma from Sakaipov. Very strong in that position. It is very hard to stay strong when you're basically on one knee. And here's another one from him. So he's not from a big judo nation, but Sakaipov, he has some good judo. Keep an eye out for him. Now this is Wagner in the gold medal contest against Bellundi. And this is the classic choke made famous by Yamashita. It's probably more well known as a clock choke, but we do call it an Okuri Eri Jime. Now this next one, another piece of newaza, this time from Tajima. And this is called Hara Gatame. So hara means stomach. So he's using his stomach to leverage the arm. Now have a look at that. That came on pretty quickly. And I'll show it one more time. Watch what he does with his right arm, feeding it across the face to secure the elbow. And that is a really nice armbar. Drop down Seoinage from Katarina here. Someone who he was on top for quite some time but hasn't had the best results as of late. I hope he returns to a bit of form. Now back up to plus 100s. Now to me this looks more like a ukiwaza than that one at the beginning of the video. But once again, I'm wrong on Judo Base. They're calling this Tani Otoshi. So I don't know guys, this is just unbelievable. I've been doing this for years and I still can't get my techniques right. Osotogari double sleeve from Tushishvili. And he's really good at this. He's got some explosive throws. Osotogari being one of them. Seoinage another one. And here he's combining them together. So just making his opponent guess, is he going to go forwards, is he going to go backwards? And obviously where you plant your feet and put your weight is going to be dependent on quite a lot of that. Spikers, didn't expect this technique out of him. Kind of a running Ochigari. Don't see this much at heavyweight, look at that. Hops into it, really gets him moving. And I think that was just a wazari, but still a good technique nonetheless. Now I'll let you guys be the judge of this one. Was there a stop in the action? Should this be considered an ippon or not? I think Fazel, I think he does enough. Endovitsky, he stops. He definitely stops, but it's not about uke, it's about tori. And Fazel, in the throw, in the midst of it, doesn't really stop for too long. Kind of keeps it going throughout. It just looks a little slow because we are up here at plus 100s. Now here's Kim again. And have a look at this kosoto. Nidan kosoto from Kim. Just another technique you don't really see a lot of at plus 100s. So I like to see it. I like to see Kim as world champion at plus 100s. I think he kind of represents that new generation that we're seeing. Kind of Tushishvili, Kim, some of these lighter guys, Yusupov. Some of these lighter guys who are really taking it to those big heavy guys and just winning with good technique. Here's that Nidan Kosoto again, putting a bit of pressure on Tushishvili, who's got two Shidos, and then baits him in, gets the counter. That's really nice from Kim. Going back down to under 60, this one from Smetov, and it is a counter, Uchimata Skashi. It's kind of silly how we're going to call this Uchimata Skashi, but I mean you could just call it Uchimata Gaishi, but that is not a technique. So I mean, it is what it is. I didn't make these technique names. Now have a look at this. Pretty fast. Tai Otoshi low. I want to call this a Seoi Otoshi. But that's really nice. Kaya, and he gets a good Ochigari here. Have a look at that. So Boshita, he wasn't expecting that at all. Kaya goes to pick him up, and as he drops his weight, just takes that leg out from underneath him. So that's a really nice combination. Go for the pickup, and when they defend it, go for the Ochigari. I like that one a lot. Here's another angle, the pickup, and then the Ochigari. That's pretty beautiful. Starts it off with a Kataguruma as well. I really should have put this one earlier in the video, but, I mean, if you're here, deep in the video with me, 13 minutes in, congratulations, you've seen a good one. Now Yoldoshev with the Kataguruma here. And it is a nice technique, but I think this one ended up being Hansokomake for head diving. Right there, as you can see, the defense, defending by bridging over your head. And this one, another all Sotogaishi. I really like it, how he gets under his hips, gets really low. Sometimes it can get a bit dangerous down there, but if you planted your feet right and you're really pushing off, not trying to fall on your opponent's legs, but kind of drive through them, you're not going to injure your partner. And how about this for a Juji Gatame? I mean, he was not wasting any time reaping on that arm. And I love what he does here on the second turnover. He just lays flat. and he just starts pulling on that arm. That's pretty vicious. Another good driving Ouchigari. Does a bit of readjusting, and you can kind of work your way to a bear hug like he did there. Speaking of bear hugs, DeWitt, he is the man at doing this. So cross grip on the sleeve, breaks it off, takes a grip around the back, and then feeds that left hand as well. That is the correct way to do a bear hug. And after this one, guys, just one more. One more from one of my favorite judoka, Chapanov, and it's a nice Ouchigari for him. Now, if you've been here for the whole video, I hope you've liked the video, subscribed. It really helps the channel out a lot, and it's pretty easy for you guys to do. And we've got a bit of time before the Olympics, so I'm going to do lots of kind of breakdowns, predictions. Should be fun. So stay tuned for all of that. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.